A strange encounter at the station. James stood near the space train platform on Titan Station. He had just finished his 12-hour shift repairing surface drones. His eyes were tired, his back hurt, and he only wanted one thing: to catch the last train to Earth and sleep for 3 days straight. The station was cold and half empty. Loudspeakers crackled overhead, announcing the train schedule. Steam hissed from the floor vents. James pulled his coat tighter and looked at the ticket machine. Only 5 minutes left. He reached into his pocket for his ID card. But before he could tap it, someone touched his arm. "Excuse me, human." James turned and saw 2 tall aliens standing beside him. They wore long gray robes with strange patterns glowing on the edges. Their skin was smooth and light blue, their eyes large and glowing gold. "We don't have money for the tickets," one said. James blinked. Okay. What do you want from me?" "We need to board that train," the second alien said. "We'll compensate you." James looked at them both. "What does that mean?" The first alien reached into a small bag and pulled out a tiny glowing cube. It floated above his palm, spinning slowly. It gave off a soft hum, like it was alive. "This," the alien said, "is worth more than your station salary for the next 10 years. James stared at it. "Is it a battery?" "No," the alien replied. "It's energy. Pure, clean energy. You help us get on the train. We give this to you." James looked around. A security bot floated by in the distance. Helping aliens sneak onto a train could mean serious trouble. But 10 years of salary, that was hard to ignore. "What's wrong with just buying tickets?" James asked. The aliens looked at each other. The second one said quietly, "They're watching us. If we try to buy tickets, they'll catch us." "Who's they?" The first alien didn't answer. Instead, he placed the cube into James's hand. It was warm. It buzzed, almost like it could feel him. "This is not a trick," the alien said. "We're not criminals. We just need to get to Earth." James thought for a moment. His mind was racing. Maybe they were telling the truth. Maybe they were lying. Either way, he had 5 minutes before the train left. He sighed. "Fine. I'll get you 2 on board, but after that we're done." The aliens bowed their heads slightly. "Thank you, human." James bought 3 tickets with his ID. It made him nervous. Everything he did here would be recorded. But the aliens stayed close, heads down, looking like tired travelers. The gates opened. The 3 of them stepped onto the platform. A sleek silver train hummed beside them, its windows glowing blue. It looked like it could fly, not just roll. They boarded the train quietly. No one stopped them. Inside, the cabin was mostly empty. James took a seat near the back. The aliens sat beside him. The doors closed. The train began to move. James looked out the window as Titan Station slowly disappeared. He let out a long breath. Then he turned to the aliens. "All right, now tell me the truth. Who are you really?" The second alien looked nervous. The first one stayed calm. "We are scientists," he said. "We used to work for the Empire, but we found something dangerous. We tried to hide it. They called us traitors." James frowned. "Dangerous how?" The alien opened his hand again. The cube floated above his palm. It was glowing brighter now. "This can power cities, ships, even planets. But if someone weaponizes it..." He didn't finish the sentence. James swallowed hard. "So, you're saying if this falls into the wrong hands, millions will die," the alien said. "Maybe more." Silence filled the cabin. The train sped through space, heading for Earth. James leaned back, closing his eyes for a second. What had he just gotten himself into? "Why me?" he asked. "You're human. You're invisible to them. You look harmless and..." The alien paused. "We heard about you." James opened his eyes. "What do you mean, heard about me?" Before the alien could answer, a quiet alarm went off in the train. Beep. Beep. Beep, a robotic voice echoed through the cabin. "Security scan in progress. Please remain in your seats." James sat up straight. The aliens froze. What now? he whispered. The aliens didn't speak. They just stared ahead, their hands under their robes. James felt the cube pulsing in his pocket. The robot voice came. Again. Unauthorized tech detected. Please prepare for inspection. James's heart was pounding. Then, one alien leaned close and whispered, "Whatever happens, don't let them take the cube. The cube that shouldn't exist." Opening scene. The lights flickered. The soft blue glow inside the train cabin suddenly turned red. A cold robotic voice echoed again. "Security scan in progress. Unauthorized object detected." James froze. He wasn't a criminal. He didn't even like breaking rules. And yet here he was, with a glowing alien cube in his pocket and two unknown fugitives beside him. His heart pounded like a drum. The train continued to move, smooth and silent. Outside the window, stars blinked as the train passed through space toward Earth. But inside, everything was tense. Across the aisle, a security bot floated into the cabin. It was round with blinking red sensors, and it was scanning each row, slowly. "Beep, beep, beep," James whispered to the aliens. "What happens if they find the cube?" The second alien leaned closer. "They won't just arrest us. They'll shut down the whole train. They'll erase you." "Erase me? I'm human. They don't care." James looked down at his jacket pocket. The cube was glowing faintly, and it was getting warm. Too warm. The first alien whispered, "You have to hide it now." James looked around. The security bot was only 4 rows away. His eyes darted to a small metal panel under the seat, a maintenance hatch. Without thinking, he slipped the cube out of his pocket. It pulsed in his hand like it was alive. Then he shoved it into the hatch and closed it just as the bot hovered into their row. The bot stopped. Red lights scanned over James's face. Beep. Scanning. ID. Valid. Status. Clean. It moved to the aliens. One at a time, the bot scanned them. Beep. Scanning. Species. Unknown. Temporary past detected. Warning. Risk level. Moderate. But it didn't stop them. It floated away. James let out a shaky breath. The aliens didn't speak. They just nodded at him quietly, their eyes sharp but calm. The lights returned to normal. The red glow faded. For a few minutes, everything was quiet. Then James finally asked, the question burning in his head. "What is that thing really, that cube?" The first alien looked at him. "It's not just a power source. It's a living core." "A living what?" "It's made from a piece of a dying star, mixed with ancient code. It learns, it thinks, it grows." James stared. "You mean it's alive?" "In a way," the alien said. "It's not a machine. It's more than that." James felt cold. "And you were just carrying it around? In a bag?" The second alien nodded. "It's the last one. The others were destroyed. The Empire feared them. That's why they hunt us." James leaned back, trying to take it all in. "So you're not just scientists. You're rebels." The first alien gave a sad smile. "We're survivors." A few minutes later, James excused himself and went to the back of the train. He needed space. He needed to think. He opened the maintenance hatch again. The cube was still there, glowing gently, but now it was different. Symbols had appeared on its surface, floating letters and shapes, changing and moving like they were alive. He reached toward it, but before he touched it, it spoke. A voice, soft, deep, not human, whispered directly into his mind. "You are the key." James pulled his hand back, heart racing. What the hell? He looked down the train aisle. The aliens were still in their seats. He wasn't sure anymore who to trust. Suddenly, the train's lights flickered again. Another announcement crackled through the speaker. "Attention passengers. Unexpected stop ahead. Please remain calm." James looked out the window. Something was floating in front of the train. A ship, black, sharp, and silent. It didn't look like any rescue craft. He rushed back to the aliens. "There's a ship outside. It's blocking the train. The alien's eyes widened. The first one whispered, "It's not Empire." The second one stood slowly. "No, it's worse." James's voice shook. "What do you mean?" The alien replied, "Bounty hunters. They found us. Mid-journey." Lie's opening scene. The space train slowed down, not like a normal stop. It jerked, like something grabbed it. Outside, in the endless dark of space, a black ship floated silently, blocking the path like a spider waiting for its prey. Inside the train, passengers looked around, confused. Lights flickered. A nervous voice came from the intercom. "Unexpected stop, please remain seated." James didn't remain seated. He stood, heart racing, and looked out the window again. The ship had no lights, no flags, just sharp metal edges, and a glowing red circle at the center. It looked dangerous, it felt dangerous. Behind him, the two aliens stood quietly, their faces tense. "That's not a normal patrol ship," James said. "It's not a patrol ship at all," the first alien replied. "It's a tracker." "A bounty hunter ship," the second added. "They followed us." James turned sharply. "You said no one knew where we were." "We said they were watching. We didn't say how good they were." James clenched his fists. "You lied to me." "No," the first alien said calmly. "We didn't tell you everything. That's different." James didn't like the answer. He looked toward the back of the train where he'd hidden the cube. If the hunters were here for that thing, they wouldn't care who got in the way. A loud thud shook the train. Everyone jumped. "Docking claws," the second alien whispered. "They're coming inside." James moved toward the hatch, panic rising. "They can't find that cube. Not while I'm holding it." The first alien grabbed his shoulder. "You shouldn't even touch it again. It responded to you too fast. That's not normal." James pulled away. Too late for warnings. He opened the hatch. The cube was still there, but now its surface was spinning faster. Symbols flashed rapidly, and a low hum filled the air. As James reached in, it spoke again. "You are not ready, but you are chosen." James yanked his hand back. "What does that mean?" he whispered. The aliens had no answer. Suddenly, the train doors hissed open. Two armored figures stepped inside, tall, silent, covered in black metal. No faces, just glowing visors and long weapons. The bounty hunters. Passengers screamed. The guards didn't react. One of them spoke, voice cold and flat. "We are looking for a stolen artifact. Step forward now and no one gets hurt." James froze. One of the hunters held up a scanner. It beeped once, twice, then pointed directly toward James. "You," the hunter said. "Come with us." James turned toward the aliens. "What do I do?" the first alien whispered. "Run. The cube is bonded to you now," the second added. "If they take you, they take it." James didn't wait. He grabbed the cube, slammed the hatch shut, and ran. Mid-part, the chase James sprinted through the back of the train. Behind him, boots pounded on the floor. Lasers flew past his head, burning holes into walls. The cube pulsed, in his hand. It whispered things he didn't understand. Symbols flashed in his vision. His eyes burned. He kept running. Doors slid open as he passed. A child cried. A robot fell sideways. Sparks flew. The train felt like it was shaking apart. He reached the maintenance exit, normally locked, but the cube glowed brightly, and the door opened. He slipped inside a narrow maintenance tunnel, breathing hard. Final scene. A new Lie James sat in the tunnel, trying to catch his breath. The cube floated in front of him now, spinning slowly, casting blue light on the walls. Footsteps echoed above. The aliens' voices came through his earpiece. One of them had slipped a translator in his ear earlier. "James," the first alien said, "if they catch you, they'll tear your mind apart to access the cube." James swallowed. "Then tell me the truth. Now, all of it." There was silence. Then the alien replied, "The cube wasn't just stolen. It was made using something from Earth, something we weren't supposed to take. What did you take? The voice replied quietly. Your DNA. James stared at the cube. It was never just a power source, the alien continued. It was designed to find you. James looked out through the small maintenance window. The bounty hunters were moving closer. Then why give it to me? He whispered. You're the only one who can open it, the voice said. And now, you're the only one who can destroy it. The price of trust opening scene. James was done running. He crouched in the dark tunnel under the train floor, the cube floating in front of him. It spun quietly, lighting his face in blue and gold. Every few seconds it showed strange symbols, ones he was beginning to understand. Not because he studied them, but because the cube was teaching him. Then the voice came again, not the alien's, the cube's voice. You are chosen. But choice is not freedom. James whispered. Then what is it? It is responsibility. He stared at it. I didn't ask for this. The cube replied. None of them did. A shiver crawled up his spine. Was the cube talking about others like him? Or others before him? Cut to the train. Above, the bounty hunters stormed through the train, scanning passengers. Passengers were crying. Some were frozen in fear. The two aliens sat quietly, in their seats blending in. A small bot flew toward them. It scanned their faces. IDs confirmed. Non-human. No object detected. The first alien spoke calmly. You're searching in the wrong place. The hunter didn't reply. It turned and walked away. The second alien leaned over. They'll find him soon. He's not trained. We don't need him trained, the first replied. We need him angry. Cut to maintenance tunnel. James sat against the cold wall. His chest was rising and falling fast. Sweat rolled down his face. The cube hovered quietly in front of him. Then it showed him something. Images. A vision. A planet burning. Towers collapsing. People screaming as the sky cracked open. James flinched. Is this the future? This is the cost. If they use me for war. James's eyes widened. War? They want to turn you into a weapon? Not me. The cube pulsed. You. Flashback reveal. 1 month ago. In a hidden lab on Titan, the two aliens argued. A screen showed James's face captured from a station ID scan. He doesn't know what he is, one alien said. He's perfect, the other replied. No family, no ties, no history. A worker, forgotten. That makes him invisible. And disposable. No, the second said. It makes him safe. Back to present. James now knew. They had chosen him on purpose. They hadn't stumbled into him. They had planned this. His voice was cold now. They used me. They gave you purpose, the cube replied, but only you can decide what that purpose is. Footsteps echoed again. Closer this time. One of the bounty hunters was inside the tunnel now. James stood up. The cube flew behind him, lighting the narrow path. From the shadows, a deep voice growled, Give us the object. We'll make it painless. James didn't answer. The hunter raised his weapon, red laser sight on James's chest. The cube spoke again, but louder into his mind. Let me protect you, James whispered. Do it. The cube exploded in light. A wave of energy hit the tunnel walls. The hunter flew back, his armor sparking and smoking. His weapon shattered into pieces. James fell to one knee, breathing hard. The cube floated down slowly. Calm again. Final scene. Trust shattered. The two aliens found him minutes later. He looked up at them with anger in his eyes. You lied. The first alien didn't deny it. We had to. You used my DNA to make this thing, and now I'm supposed to save the galaxy? No, the second said softly. You're supposed to stop it from falling into the wrong hands. James stood. Then tell me the truth. All of it. No more secrets. The alien nodded. The cube is not the only one. James stared. There are 3, the alien said, and one of them is already active. Another one has awakened opening scene. Somewhere far away. On a dark moon orbiting a dead planet deep inside a sealed lab, something pulsed. A cube. Not James's cube. This one was red, not blue. Its surface cracked open like an egg, glowing from the inside. Then, a single word echoed in the dark, metallic chamber. Activated. A humanoid figure stepped forward. Its skin was metal. Its eyes burned like coals. It reached for the cube, and the cube rose into its hand like it had been waiting. The figure smiled. Cut to James. Still on the train, James sat quietly in the empty storage room with the 2 aliens. Everything felt different now. The room was quiet, but his mind was loud. He stared at the glowing blue cube floating beside him. They said there are 3, he muttered. And one is active. Where? The first alien answered, "We don't know." The second added, "But if it awakened on its own, it found a host." James stood. Like me? The alien hesitated. Maybe worse. Flashback scene. Alien archives. Long time ago in a hidden Empire research vault, 3 cubes were created, each with a unique core. Blue was for learning, red was for destruction, gold was for control. The scientists feared the red cube most. It wasn't stable, it responded only to power, to hate, to war. They locked them away, but someone stole them. And now, red had found a host, back to present. A disturbing signal, a beep, came from the alien's small device. An energy spike, far side of the system. It's the red one. James walked closer. Can we reach it? No. But it might reach us. The cube suddenly spun faster beside him, symbols flashing wildly. What's wrong with it? James asked. It's reacting, the alien whispered. It senses the other one. Then the cube spoke again, but this time it didn't sound calm. Enemy. Detected. Prepare. James's voice dropped. Prepare for what? Connection. Suddenly, James's vision blurred. He wasn't on the train anymore. He stood in darkness, facing something, a figure far away, but walking toward him. Metal skin, red eyes. The red cube in his hand. The figure smiled. So, it said, voice sharp like knives, you're the weak one. James tried to speak but couldn't. The red cube glowed brighter. The figure raised his hand and the ground cracked beneath James's feet. Then everything vanished. James collapsed back into the real world. He was sweating, shaking. The 2 aliens helped him up. What did you see? One asked. James whispered. He saw me. Scene change. In the shadows of space inside a massive ship drifting between stars, the red-eyed figure placed the cube in a tall black machine. Lights came on. A map appeared, 3 dots, blue, red, and gold. The red-eyed man smiled wider. Soon, we'll have all 3. Back to train. A terrible realization, James looked at the aliens. If he finds the gold cube, he won't just control the galaxy, the alien said. He'll rewrite it. James stepped forward. Then we have to get to it first. The second alien raised a brow. You want to leave Earth? James nodded. He looked at the cube beside him. It chose me. I didn't want it, but I've seen what's coming. He clenched his fist. And I'm not letting him burn my world. The race for gold opening scene. Not Earth. Not yet. A desert planet spun slowly under twin suns. Its sky was orange. Its land was dead, buried under the sand, deep below a ruined alien temple. Something hummed. A pulse. A heartbeat. The third. Cube gold silent for centuries. Now, waking. Its surface glowed faintly. Symbols blinked. Then, one bright flash, a signal. Cut to the red host. The red-eyed figure stood on his warship, watching the signal reach his screen. "There you are," he whispered. His metal fingers tapped the map. The golden signal blinked. He turned to his second-in-command, a half-machine woman with no face. "Send the hunters," he said. "Kill the blue. Bring me the gold." Cut to James, preparing to leave. James stood at a small spaceport hidden on the edge of Saturn's moon. He looked out the window as a transport ship landed, sleek, old, but fast. The cube hovered beside him, calm for now. The two aliens stood nearby. They had brought weapons, maps, and one more thing: fear. "You sure you want to do this?" the first alien asked. James didn't answer immediately. He thought about Earth, his old life. Quiet, simple, forgotten. Then he thought about the red-eyed monster. "I don't want to do this," James said, "but I have to." Mid-part. Into the stars, the ship blasted off. James sat inside, watching stars stretch outside the window. The cube floated quietly in his lap. Suddenly it lit up, spinning fast. "The gold one is near," it said. James leaned forward. "How near?" "3 jumps, but others are coming." James looked at the aliens. "The red one?" "No," the second alien said. "Something else, something worse." Meanwhile, a surprise betrayal far behind, on the bounty hunter ship. One of the hunters removed their helmet. It was not a machine. It was human. A woman. She looked at a photo, James's, face on it. Her fingers shook. Then she whispered, "I'm sorry, James." She turned to her ship's comms. "Send this to the red host. I've found the gold cube's location." Back to James. Arrival at the planet. The transport ship dropped out of light speed. The desert planet appeared. Red, dry, ancient. "This is it?" said the alien. "The cube is inside the old Empire vault. No air, no light, many traps." James stood, eyes on fire. "Let's go." Inside the vault, they entered the ruins. Dust fell from every step. The air was thin, cold. Then the cube lit up again. "It's near, I feel, family." James looked confused. "You mean the other cubes?" "No," it replied. "Someone like me, but broken." Then they saw it, a golden box, floating inside a sealed glass dome, unmoving, silent. Suddenly, a loud crash. The red-eyed figure stepped through the wall, followed by hunters. He smiled at James. "You brought it right to me," he said. Final scene, all 3 meet. The red cube floated from his hand. The blue cube floated from James. The two hovered near the glass, spinning wildly. Then the golden cube woke. Its light burst out, blinding everyone. The glass shattered. The gold cube chose no one. It floated between them, spinning, then shot into the sky, vanishing into space. Everyone stood frozen. James whispered, "What just happened?" The blue cube replied, "It didn't choose either of you. It's waiting for someone else. The one who was meant for it." Written in simple English in third person with a unique and gripping opening that pulls the audience in right away. This part ends the saga with mystery, action, and an unexpected twist. Perfect for your HFY sci-fi. YouTube audience. Opening scene. Not long ago, not far away. A child stood alone in a burned-out village on a small, forgotten moon. Everyone else was gone, taken by war or time. The child had nothing but silence. Then something drifted down from the sky, not a ship, not a voice, a cube, golden, glowing, gentle. It hovered in front of the child and said one word: "Soon." And then it vanished into the stars. Cut to James, shocked, defeated. James fell to his knees in the middle of the ancient vault. The golden cube had flown away, rejected everyone, even him. The red-eyed figure laughed. "So it didn't want you either," he said. The 2 cubes, blue and red, hovered between them, their lights flickering like they were fighting each other in silence. James looked at the aliens beside him. "What now?" The first alien whispered, "Now. We wait. Or we die." Cut to, somewhere in deep space. The golden cube zipped through asteroids, storms, and light-speed lanes. It was looking, searching, calling, and someone answered. A ship turned, small, fast, silent. Inside it was a girl, no older than 12, eyes sharp, calm. She didn't smile, didn't speak. She just opened her hand, and the golden cube flew straight into it. Meanwhile, James versus the red host on the desert planet. James stood as. The red-eyed figure raised his hand. The red cube powered up, energy cracking the walls around them. James closed his eyes. "Cube, help me." The blue cube spun fast. It surrounded James with light. For 1 second, he felt everything, every thought, every memory. The pain of the red cube, the cold of the gold cube, and then the hope inside his own. He opened his eyes. "You think I'm weak?" James said. "No, I'm human. That's why I'm strong." He sent a wave of energy forward. The red cube cracked. The red host screamed, his skin breaking into metal dust. Final scene. The new guardian. The golden cube now floated calmly in the child's hand, no longer glowing but pulsing like a slow heartbeat. The girl finally spoke. "Who am I now?" The cube answered softly. "The guardian." James across the galaxy felt it. He looked up at the stars and smiled. "It didn't choose me," he said. "But it found the right one." The two aliens stood beside him. "What now?" one asked. James picked up the cracked red cube. "We protect her, from anyone who tries to take it again."